guys, we're all set up and ready to go for this morning's hunt. I actually have 4 decoys out there. I have 3 hens and then 1 Jake. And I decided to come to the blind and just kind of hang tight for a little while, call and see if I can't draw anything in. Usually this hillside that's in front of me, these birds roost on. I didn't hear the first gobble this morning on our side. It's all on the neighbor's property, so I think a lot of those are Jakes. There might be a longbeard mixed in with them, but we're gonna hang tight and see if we can't call something in. If not, we're gonna try to make a move on a bird and just try to walk around, listen, and call one in. But right now we're gonna hang tight, let this morning unfold, and see what it has in store. It is 8 o'clock, not a single bird in sight. I did see 1 coyote, but that is it. So I think the game plan now is to pack up the decoys, put them in the blind, and do a little bit of running and gunning. There was birds gobbling on the neighbor's property this morning. It sounded like Jake's though. So what I think I'm gonna do is go to the opposite side of our property and just do some calling, walking around, see if I can't locate a bird and get set up. But I'm getting impatient. I told myself I'll give it till 8. It is 8:15 now, so I waited a little bit longer and nothing. But we're gonna get out of here, try to make a move on a bird and see if we can't make something happen. So I just switched spots from down in the bottom to up higher up on the farm. I'm right on the property boundary. And I set out one of the fans. It's actually the turkey I shot last year. I have the fan of that turkey stabbed in the ground up there with a hen. But I'm set up right on the fence line. I broke some branches and stuck in front of me. And I did a couple soft yelps. And there's a bird right over here. I've killed a bird right here. I called it through the fence up onto our property and shot it. So I'm kind of hoping the same thing plays out this morning. He responded the first time, so he knows I'm over here. I'm just gonna do a couple soft calls and see if I can't pull him over this way. Oh, please, God. This gets me fired up. Birds coming in. There's 2 strutters and 2 hens. those birds didn't come in. They got right behind me, but they cannot figure out how to cross this fence. So I'm gonna go out here and take my fan that I have stuck in the ground and try to act like I'm a gobbler out in this field. I have 30 minutes left. You're only allowed to hunt till 12 in the early season right now. So I have nothing to lose, so I'm gonna go grab this fan and just crawl through this field. I'm gonna have the camera rolling, so if you guys hear a shot, I got the bird, hopefully, if I don't miss. Let's rock and roll. I tried everything in the book. I'm freaking worn out. I was out there strutting around in the grass trying to get that bird to come in. Whew. I thought I was doing a pretty good job at strutting though. Oh man, that was so close. That was so stinking close. If I would have turned around, I could have shot one of those birds. They were less than 5 yards behind me. I'm not surprised if that GoPro picked it up. I felt one of them trying to cross the fence. I'm sitting right here and they were trying to cross the fence right there. They get in behind this briar bush and try coming in where my back is up against. Right there. That was insane. I started off down in the bottom in the blind. The blind is all the way down there. Then hiked up, my truck is at the barn. Came around the crest of that ridge and then popped over where no birds could see me in this field, and then got set up in this little blind, broke some limbs and all that. I was actually pretty tucked in there. They couldn't see me. So it was a great setup. Had my decoys right out there, maybe 20 yards or so. And these birds, they're on the neighbor's property. This is the property line. And I've called them over before, but there's just not a lot of places for these birds to cross over this fence, just where it's woven wire. So it makes it a lot harder to try to call a bird across that. But those birds were roosted, I guess right over there on that ridge line. And they were down in this bottom. And as soon as I got over here, I called and I heard them gobbling right down there. Long story short, the hen started coming this way, and then both the longbeards started coming this way. They zigzagged back and forth right behind me for over an hour and a half and could not figure out how to cross this fence. Finally, they started working their way back down away from me, still gobbling every time I'd call, but I guess they just lost interest. So that's when I grabbed the fan, army crawled out there and started strutting around, and I had one, it took off running. The other one stayed strutting on top of the hill, but the other one took off running at me, and I was like, oh gosh, here we go. This thing's gonna try to fly over this fence or something and attack me. But that's the only thing that I knew to do. And I wouldn't condone doing that unless you're on private property, you know nobody else is hunting, and you're in a big field. So other hunters, which there shouldn't be, I would only do this if it was just me on private property. Like I said, only do it out in the field, because that's just, it's really, really sketchy once you get into the woods with it, because I don't know, you just never know who's hunting your property, and at least in a field you can tell it's a human crawling around with a turkey fan with no head. But I did that and I thought those birds were gonna come right in. I mean, if it's not, it's probably 12 o'clock now. I was cutting it close, so I had nothing to lose. Went out there and did that. It's kind of fun. Birds didn't pick up on anything. They strutted the whole time, gobbled back every single time that I called to them again, and they just lost interest and they started working their way back down towards the creek where all those hens went. But that was insane. That was stinking crazy. I think the birds are gone now, but I'll kind of show you this little setup. It's actually pretty cool. Tucked away right in this stuff. That's the woven wire that my back was at. And then this is where these birds were. They were right where that grass is, just on the opposite side of that fence. And I'm gonna have to look back at the GoPro footage, because I'm pretty sure that I got at least one of their heads popping up right behind me. I closed my eyes and I was like, I'm not here, please don't pick up on anything. And 2 times they started doing those alert putts and like, burp, burp, burp. And I was like, oh gosh, they're gone. I was like, please God, just please don't let them spook away. And they didn't. They just stayed right there. I could hear them spitting and drumming right behind me, like 10 yards for over an hour and a half. I mean, they were like, I mean, it was insane. I've never had birds that close for so long. But this is what I have jerry-rigged right here. It's just one of my old fans from last year. I have an old arrow. It's broke at the tip. And then I zip-tied the back of it. And it's just like that. And I was just hiding behind there. I like plucked me a little hole out so I could see if anything was coming. And it worked great. This is where these birds first started. So I was standing right here, called, and I heard them right up over there on that hillside. And as soon as I got everything set up, I crawled out, put the decoy out there. They started coming. They started walking right through this field, and there's actually another fence right there. And they worked their way up to that spot, couldn't find a way to get in. So they came all the way back down. I don't know how they got through this fence. I guess they went under the red fence right there. And then they were strutting right on this road right behind me, and then got right up on this embankment. These birds were right here trying to get through the fence. I mean, right here. And I'm right there. But they ended up going all the way back down there, crested that ridge and down towards the creek and out of my life. There's nothing I could do. Did everything in the book so I could possibly try. I didn't call much. They stayed around. And as soon as they started leaving, I just called a little bit more, ran around with this tail fan. You know, it was an epic hunt. I wish I could have got a bird. They just couldn't figure out how to get through this fence. I'm actually gonna go and see if I can find a spot where they could get through this fence and maybe set up on that. It might be a little bit easier. That just proves to you, if you call a couple times and a bird's coming this way, don't call to it anymore. It knows exactly where you're at. It came right to my back. It was crazy. But that was insane. This turkey season, it's been tough at the beginning. This is the closest I've gotten to birds. This is actually the closest I've had an encounter with strutters. And I guess the first time I've actually had longbeards gobbling back at my calls. So feel pretty accomplished. It'd be nice to have a bird laying right beside me. But still, we had a great time. I just love being out here. That's the main reason I love hunting, is just being out here, seeing everything come to life, especially in the spring. I encourage you guys, if you've never been turkey hunting before, to get out there or try to find somebody that's an outdoorsman and ask them if they can take you hunting, because it's an absolute blast. I love deer hunting, but turkey hunting just has a special place in my heart. But I guess that is gonna wrap up today's video. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel, because sooner or later we're gonna get a bird on the ground, and hopefully it's an epic video. But right now I'm gonna pack my stuff up, get out of here, and might hit the creek, might go kayak, might go fishing and do something like that. But if you haven't already, please subscribe, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Love y'all.